just left a late. I just booked a flight.
You already know the vibes. We back. We live. Welcome to On Go. Listen, we got Diddy appeal denied by Judge Arun in the way he sentenced Diddy. And we also got Fort Dix. Is this Diddy's new facility where he's going to be housed at? Then we got Quincy Brown, his son. You know what I'm saying? Is talking about I don't know if he assaulted a woman at the court. I know that this woman came to me and spoke to me, though. This is the craziest thing. I just didn't make no videos on it. But this woman came and spoke to me and said, I was just assaulted by. I'm going to get into what she told me. I'm like, what? And then when I see the whole thing being a thing online, I'm like, wow, it's crazy, man. Because the lady, she knows me. She knows me from the court. And she came and spoke to me. And she just had on Ray-Ban glasses. Salute to that. And we also got Lil Durk going free. Is Little Durk going free? We don't know, man. We know that his lawyers have filed a new motion to dismiss the M for hire. If you know what the M, the unaliving for hire. Salute to all of that. I do want to drop the poll. Pause. I do want to drop the poll in the chat. But what we will get into first is this. We understand that, listen, you know, Diddy, the way the Judge Arun charged this case, I've sentenced him. We understand that the probation wanted 5 to 7 years. 5 was this floor, 7 was the ceiling. If you heard me at the trial, this was what I was talking about, the floor and the ceiling. I thought his floor was around 5 years, period, especially based on probation. All right. We understand that the prosecution was seeking an 11 and 2 months, right? They were seeking what they were seeking. What's the crazy thing about it now is this. On appeal now, right? The way the judge has tried this case and the way he has sentenced this case now, it's under what probation wants. Listen, you go on appeal. Listen, it's under what probation wants. It's at least like 20 something, I think 24 months under what probation wants, bro. So even if you try to really appeal it, they're going to be like, what basically are you appealing, bro? Basically, you were supposed to get 5 years minimum, probably a 7 if they was acting wacky. And if they was getting really sporadic, they could have hit you with the 11-point change. So based on some of these things, not to say that the appeals are not going to go out and all this won't happen, but he gave him under the guideline. So what do we do when them people's up there, they're looking at you like, yo, hold up, man. Just sit down and just chill, bro. I'm telling you, man, the people is funny at the board. Appeal and people is funny. Okay, the appeal boards is funny. Salute to everybody. Y'all already know, drop your likes. I am going to get into this. We got to go to Garagos, all right? We got to bring in my guy, Garagos, all right? Salute. But let's bring in Garagos, and let's see what he's talking about. Salute to everybody. I will put the poll in the chat right now, so y'all make sure y'all dropping the likes. Everybody slap the likes. It's free. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're hitting the notification bells onto all, because YouTube is knocking off our notifications, bro, on some hate emissions. Straight hate emissions, homie. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, I got to tell you this. But as long as y'all showing love and y'all not just doing it for this, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to get this hat, go to Don't Hide the Plug on Instagram. Shoot them a DM. OOTAONGO is the promo code. Send me the pictures. Send me the videos. I upload them on my channel. Let's get back to it.
And just to go back to some of the sentencing stuff that you were talking about, I have it right here that the judge has somewhat handcuffed the ability not to appeal, but to be successful on appeal, because he adopted guidelines that were higher, then came in substantially under the low end of those guidelines, but still, you know, providing a sentence that was going to keep him, you know, behind bars for a significant period of time. It's going to be hard to go to a judge and say, hey, you know, this was done unfairly, when the judge is going to look and say, well, the guidelines say the low end should be 24 months more than he got.
I think that's exactly it. And I know that there will be lawyers who listen to this who will tell me, Mark, that's legally, that's not, that doesn't hold together. And what I would respond to them in advance is, if you've read enough appellate opinions in the criminal law, you will see that that is a district court safety valve that they do preemptively for this circuit court. That makes sense. When you go below the guidelines, it doesn't, you're avoiding the idea of some circuit court saying to the district court judge, you miscalculated, you're off base, you can't do this, I'm going to remand to have you recalculate. If he and it was interesting because Tenny didn't speak that much yesterday during the sentencing, but she made, in my humble opinion, she and Jason Driscoll, who is Alexandra's associate, made the two most salient points from reading the transcript. Tenny called out his honor on using the term "it's inconsequential." And she said, no, it's not inconsequential. And he corrected himself and said that he was only doing it within the lane of determining a sentence, not for purposes of where, and this is what I'll get to, it's kind of a good segue. A lot of people have asked, well, what does that mean? When does he get out? How does he shorten it up? What happens is the judge's ruling, the PSR, the pre-sentence report, and a lot of other materials will get sent to the Bureau of Prisons. They will make a determination as to where they designate Puff to go. And that is key because he's going to want a place that allows him to do one or two different programs. He's going to want a place where he can be secure, which, obviously he would love a camp. And there's very few camps that also offer the programs. And to a lesser degree, the geographical location. And the Bureau of Prisons makes that determination, although they will take input from the judge.
I've heard you, excuse me, I've heard you talk about how, and by the way, I think it's somewhat funny for anyone in the audience. I've heard you refer to Sean the way that you have been throughout the course of this podcast as Puff. I presume that that's just you being grandfathered in from the time that was what he was known as in the public eye. But
yes, I've known it that long.
Yes, you have, and I know that he allows you to call him that. So I thought that was funny for the audience, who there may be some in our audience who are too young to remember when he was referred to that way. But
the word grandfathered in. So
I didn't mean to use that as a connotation for your age. I just meant you've known him long enough that is the name that he is comfortable with you calling him, because that was his name at the time that you guys became close. But what I was going to say was, I've heard that you said that he has a preference to be somewhere close to New York. Someone with his means and the means that those in his family will have.
You will say this, though. Fort Dix ain't no games, though. Regardless of the facts, now he's really doing his bid now. You know what I'm saying? You've been in one facility. He's been in MDC. I got friends in there. Free there. You know what I'm saying? Straight. I've had friends in there. It's real talk. At the end of the day, he's in MDC. It goes down in MDC, bro. Don't think it's a joke in there. It goes down. So niggas getting their head bust, all type of thing happening in there. You know what I mean? But remember, while you was facing, before you go into trial, you're there. You know what I'm saying? If he's comfortable in that. I heard about one situation where they said they try to shank Diddy or whatever the case may be. It's jail, bro. The situation's happening, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you comfortable now in this place. After you get your bid and they sentence you, you probably want to stay there because remember, you got your people there, little 1-2 friends you done made. But now that you take your sentence now they have to move you. Now here's where your journey begins. So all Diddy could ask for is a better facility, a facility that's going to, where he could just get his head down, put his head down, and just do his bid and get up out of there. But once again, based on how Judge Arun sentenced this case, do you think that an appeal is a dub? You know what I'm saying? Because, what are you appealing? You got these 2 federal charges here, homie. You know what I mean? You got 2 federal charges here, regardless if you want to think other people from the past got less or more. Regardless of all of that, bro, you have 2 federal counts, man. Okay? And not only did probation say they want to give you 5 years minimum, that's what they were requesting and suggesting to the judge. And then the judge goes under it. So when he went under it, I was like, I thought 5 years, period. I thought that 5 was the max, was the floor. Once probation speak, bro, come on, bro. You already know, bro. Your hands is tied now. The judge's hands were tied and binded, bro. He couldn't do no 14 months there. That's what was out the door. Salute to everybody. Everybody hit the poll. Let's finish up with Garrett Ghost, and then we are gonna go into I am gonna talk a little bit about Quincy, man, because Quincy wilded out. My homegirl, man, it was my homegirl, a lady that came. I'm on her channel. She came. I think she came from where? She came with her next friend from Texas, if I'm not mistaken. They from Texas, bro, gangster. So I met 1 million people out there, but I remember this woman, and she's from Texas. I swear to God, she told me this months ago. But her and her friend that came that day, that was taking videos with me, were from Texas. But when I seen her the other day, she was like, "Yo, Quincy, yo," I ain't gonna say no names. put hands on us. So, like, I just grabbed the glasses or some shit. I don't know, but I'm looking at it like, I don't know. You know, that's my little nephews and shit. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. Because she was like, you sure did. She walked by me like, you sure did. So when she said you sure did, I'm like, is she serious? But there's so much stuff going on in front of the court. I just let it go by. Then I see these headlines and things going up on people's channels saying that this was an altercation that happened between Quincy and this woman. But I think this woman was trying to film Quincy. But she had the Ray-Ban glasses on. And, you know, Quincy could be really technical about stuff, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to things. One time I filmed Quincy, bro, and Quincy came and asked me, bro, like, yo, bro, don't put me on the scenes, Uda. Don't put me on the scenes. Gangsta, I wasn't trying to film him, though. That's what got me tight. My shit was getting mad views, this video. I'm live. I'm chilling. Charlucci, Finney, everything. We chilling, you know what I'm saying? King pop up in Harlem, in the middle of Harlem, son. Glittery looking like Puffin 9-3. You know what I mean? Shining Harlem, bro. It's ghetto, it's hood, son. He ain't got no security, nothing like that. Charlucci's out here. We in front of a bar lounge. The fuck? It's gonna go up, bro. Anybody could. People can have a weapon right now and say, yo, run for the money, run for the jewels. Stop acting stupid, son. We're in New York City. King popped out, was chilling. Surprised me because I was filming something else, chilling. I'm outside drinking. Remember, I was out there drinking champagne, roses, chilling. From behind me, whoop, bumped me. I'm like, what? Oh, it's King. I'm like, oh shit, King. I'm like, oh shit, King. So I'm filming King now. I'm on the live. Anybody else on my live know it. I'm on the live filming King like this. So he go in the spot. He must have went in there, probably go use the bathroom and left or whatever. I'm like, oh. King's leaving now. So now I'm about to film King again because he's leaving. So when he's leaving, boom, I go back towards his truck where they at because they pulled up in a fucking Suburban or some shit. So when I go to the Suburban, I'm filming him. But remember, I'm talking shit. Yo, son, King album, drop a little song, drop with Kanye. You know what I mean? I'm giving a little promo with the shit. My little cousin, my little nephews. So boom, as I pan the camera like this, who in the car, son? First of all, I ain't never seen Quincy at night. Quincy's in the car, son. I'm like, yo, this nigga here, bro. I'm like, Quincy? I'm shocked, son. You can hear me visibly shocked on the live because I never seen Quincy at night, bro. You know what I'm saying? You'll see probably a Justin. You'll probably see you know what I mean? A King. You don't see Quincy, bro. Quincy's like really on the low, bro. He really tries to stay out the way, bro. For real. So when I caught Quincy see me catch him. I caught Quincy like, oh shit, who that kill? Oh shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm shocked. Boom. Then King jump in the car and breeze, and they bounce. Boom. A little while later, who comes to me? Charlucci. Yo, son. Yo, Quincy called me. Yo, listen, son, you caught Quincy in the footage and shit? I was like, yeah, I was surprised to see the nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking to Lucci like regular. I was like, yo, I'm just surprised to see the nigga. You know what I'm saying? Nighttime Quincy, what the fuck? He was like, yo, son, you know what I mean? You know, Quincy don't be wanting to be. You know what I'm saying? But if you could, I'm saying, private it or something. I'm like, what? I don't give a fuck about this shit. I deleted the video. I should have privated it, though. I mean, I'm just thinking fast. I don't really care about all this shit, bro. It's not that serious to me. I don't care about the clout chase, unlike this hat. I don't really care about it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, it's all good. And I deleted the shit one time. I'm like, fuck that shit. I don't really give a fuck about this shit. But I was tight because I was really, the part with King Combs and all that was the energy, bro. That's Diddy and 9-3, homie. Quincy, chill. It wasn't your day, bro. It wasn't your night, homie. It was about King that day. But yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. But let's get back to the work. Salute to all of y'all. Y'all drop likes. Y'all all make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. All hit notification bells. Make sure you're notified. I am going to be going into a read of the Little Durk works. Because we're going to see what the hell going on with Durk. It's looking like this could go through for Durk, though, bro. It's looking like it could go through. So everybody hit the poll in there. That's why I put both sides. The Diddy, whoever coming for the Diddy content. We got the Durkio. If you thinking Durkio going to bust case, he about to free up. You know what I'm saying? If you think that man about to free up, let me know what y'all thinking.
To be able to travel, why would there be why would that preference be there? I would think that he would want to go really anywhere that geographically that has the conditions that he's hoping for in terms of safety, and his loved ones would be afforded the ability to come and visit him, you know, easier than maybe somebody else in a different sort of stratosphere.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the thinking, and I believe the transcript says that they asked that the judge not designate until Monday. And the judge, to be clear, does not designate, but he can make a recommendation. And I think that discussion, my guess would be had over the weekend. And you would, I think, if you're trying to minimize and minimize harm, minimize time, maximize program, the ability to engage with the program and really learn from it, you're going to want to be in a place where you're safe and that offers the program.
Okay. And then my final question that I haven't really heard addressed here is, best case, let's say that he ends up going to, obviously none of these are options that he wants to go to, but let's say that he gets the pick of the litter, the camp, the programs, the whatever it all is, how it shakes out. Based on the facts of this case, is there early release? Is there a path towards getting out early, or is he doing, the balance of his sentence minus the time served already?
So 50 minus 13, 14. So he's got 36 as he sits right now, 36 months left. For those who are mathematically challenged, that's
3 years to me. I've heard everyone saying 2 or north of 2. It's 3 as far as I count, but okay, go ahead.
And then if he gets into one of the programs or both of the programs, because your question was, what is the earliest? There is a world that he could be out in a year to 14 months.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm sure that we will
by
be.
the way, he could theoretically ask for bail on appeal, and that is yet another option that revolves around the likelihood and the merits, and so that's an interesting dynamic as well, and a possibility as well.
Hasn't had a lot of success in terms of getting bail the times that he's been asking so far in the course of this. So I would not necessarily put a ton of my eggs in that basket, but it's interesting to note that it is a possibility. So I appreciate you pointing that out.
I think it's interesting. I said this in the run-up ever since the government filed the request for 135 months, and His Honor said on the record yesterday, forget the term, but he just said that was over the top or overshooting or something like that. I don't want to mischaracterize it, but basically it was too much. But what it does mentally and why the government goes so crazy is, I think when the defense said 14, the government is fearful that they're in their thinking that the judge is going to let him out basically time served. So we have to go so crazy that the midpoint, even if you fight against it, is where the judge will really be at. And then the arguments take you around or hover around the midpoint. So 135, 14, 149, you're looking at 75 months, which, by the way, also is right smack dab in the middle of what they call the heartland of what probation said the guidelines were. And so, and ironically, where the judge landed up, or maybe not ironically, and then he is moving from that midpoint. And that, I think, is unfair and outrageous in this sense. The government made the decision to charge the RICO and the 2 sex trafficking acts, which had mandatory minimums of 10 and 15 years, respectively. They lost. They should not be, and now they get to say, well, he doesn't get 3 levels for acceptance, which is a substantial amount of time. And he should get 2 levels for obstruction. 5 levels, basically, is what they were trying to do and make the argument for. My feeling is there should be, and I would implore the people who handle the sentencing guidelines, if the government swings and misses, they should be given either a timeout on sentencing, or what those 5 levels should be doubled down against them. The defense should get for prevailing against an overcharged indictment and taking the chance. If you're going to punish people for going to trial, you ought to reward them for winning at trial. And I think that's a fatal flaw in the system.
That's a big thing, though. You know what I mean? You don't reward a person for actually winning what you want. You know what I mean? But Diddy still got 2 charges, man. Regardless of the fact, bro. He do. Did the judge go up on him? Yeah. Was other people getting probations in a year and change? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think he could have probably got that. That was a possibility. Yeah. But I just think as the judge said, because I was there, man, I was in Diddy's court. So, you know what I mean? All throughout the trial, I wasn't pressed to really go up in Diddy's court. I went up there a couple of times. One time I got kicked out, whatever. You know what I mean? But I went up there this day, right up there. And I didn't go there early, crack of dawn. Nope. I got there like 7 o'clock and I got right in Diddy's court. Signed up. It's like, today the last day. I don't care if you tight. Could have did that every day. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to be in there just to see them feel the tension in the courtroom, to see the expression on everyone's faces as we're reacting to everything that's happening in the court. You know what I mean? And the judge, I thought he was in some ways being fair, you know what I mean, based on what the prosecution was seeking. He said that a lot of enhancements that the prosecution was seeking, he was said, nah, just overruled. He spent the first minutes just going through that. Overruled. He's like, no, just based on that, that'd be like an overreach to give him 11 years and all of that because you're not supposed to do this. He's like, nah, man, that'd be too much. That exceeds the punishment of the crime. You know what I'm saying? For real. He said this. And then he spoke to the defense's side and said, listen, what y'all saying right here, I'm going to overrule that. I'm going to overrule that. And he also said, listen to me. While he was overruling the government, I paid attention to this thing because as he overruled them like 4 or 5 times or whatever the enhancements were, all the enhancements, he said it has no bearing on what the sentence is going to be anyway. Me overruling these enhancements has no bearing on the sentence. So basically saying like he feels that he's come up to a number basically that he deems is sufficient on all sides to make sure everybody's satisfied. You know what I mean? And as a judge, you got to do that. You know what I mean? You got to do that, bro. There was a lot of violence in this case, but like at the end of the day, though, Diddy was acquitted of all these things, though, man. He was acquitted, but we understand that relevant conduct can be brought back and used against you to be used in your guidelines. You know what I mean? So you get that. But as far as Mark Nifolo and Brian Steele in the camp goes, they're saying that constitutional laws is broken, and they feel that on the back of the appeal, they think that they're going to win this. You know what I mean? But do y'all think that they're going to win the appeal? Do you think that the judge going 24 months, not just a year, 24 months, okay, under the guidelines of what they wanted, do you think that will affect the appeal board to say, what are you appealing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you appealing, bro? Straight, man. You know how that system is, bro. The easiest thing to do is to get up in that building. The hardest thing to do is to get up out of there. Straight. You already know that. And I knew that they was going to let Puff go. You know what I'm saying? They was holding on to Puff too tight, bro. Pause. But they was holding on to Puff. They didn't want to let him go. He beat the harsher charges. They still was holding on to him. Why hold on to him this whole time, right? If you're just going to give him a slap on the wrist and let him walk home free because you just want to let him keep him in there for a couple of more months. What does that do to potential victims, keeping them in there for a couple of more months? What does that make sense? It didn't make sense to me. It didn't. You know what I'm saying? If they gave him like a little year, probably in change or something extra, probably could have been possible. You know what I'm saying? Could have been possible because he'd have been getting more than a few people that got charged with those man acts. It was possible. But once probation kicked up that dust and said, yo, listen, man, this is what we recommend. You already know. You know what I mean? So how do y'all feel? Do y'all think that this will affect it? Let me know what y'all think. And shout out everybody in the chat. Daughter the Most High, op in the building with us. One love in the building. You already know, man. Lord, salute. You already know. Real GT. You already know. Salute to us, man. You know the vibes. Salute to us. Y'all get in the comments. Y'all let me know what y'all thinking about it. Are y'all satisfied with the sentence? Are y'all satisfied with Diddy's sentence? It's 4 years too much. It's 4 years enough. He needed more. Some people say he should have got more. I seen somebody say I thought he was gonna get 8, 9. Garagos was predicting 10 plus years, man, in the 10s and teens. Garagos, the man we just watched, man, his supposed grandfather, whatever the hell they was called him just now. Yeah. He was predicting like 10, 15, bro. I mean, some teens or some shit like that, bro. Based on what the prosecution was trying to put some teens or some 10s. Come on, bro. That's what Garagos thought. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, bro. Don't know. But what I do know is we're gonna get into this Durk though. Let's see a little bit of this Durk. Let's put some of this on the board. This is it. I think so. Should be it. Bong, right? Yeah, should be it. Let me see how y'all seeing it though. Boom. Let me move this closer to this. Hold up. Hold up. Bang, yeah. Bong. Here we at. Let me see how y'all seeing it. Y'all seeing it good? No, I don't like how y'all seeing it. Why this thing didn't flip like this? This shit is weird. Hold up, y'all. Maximize this. Boom. I'm gonna put me down right here. Pause. All right, cool. Let's get into that. Hold up. All right, cool. You already see what's going on. The United States versus, you already know, Durkio Banks, my boy Schmirkio, free Schmirks. If y'all say it's free Schmirk in the chat for my boy Schmirkio. Sevens in the chat. You believe in God and Jesus in any of my chats. You already know. We here, we doing that, but anything I'm doing, God is around me. Even if we on a drill, homie, God's with me. Straight. Hope the devil's with you. You know what I'm saying? So we always going to shout out God. We always going to respect Jesus. That's a fact. I don't care what you said. You don't have to believe in them. Sevens in the chat. Defended Durk Banks' motion for to dismiss for vagueness or in the alternative for a bill of particulars. Now they show the hearing date, which is November 18th, 2025. It's scheduled for. The time is 10 a.m. They show you the courtroom and they show you the Honorable Michael W. Fitzgerald will be the judge. Okay. Defendant Durk Banks, through his attorneys, Drew Findling, Marissa Goldberg, Jonathan M. Brayman, and Christy O'Connor hereby files this motion to dismiss the second superseding indictment, the indictment all in the alternative for a bill of particulars. Mr. Banks makes this motion under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 7C1 and F and under the 5th and 6th Amendments to the Constitution. This motion is based on the attached memorandum, the files and records in this case, and any other such evidence or argument that the court may permit. So it shows the filing, shows the signatures, okay? Shows the tables of content. Let's go through them slow so you can see them. How long is the table of content? That's it. All right, cool. I'll read them for you. All right, cool. So this is what we're going to be getting into. Introduction. The factual backgrounds of the indictment, the bounty, language, the at the direction of language. This is the M for hire type vibe right there. Hold up. Why they skip me down there? What the hell they skip me to? Come on, bro. What's going on with y'all, bro? Skip me? What the hell? Here we go. Skip me, bro. All right, cool. I mean, see, pleading standards and indictment must meet. Okay, bill of particulars, indictment's bounty at the direction. Okay, cool. Let's get into it. Where we at? Okay, introduction. All right, cool. Is everybody dropping a like? Is everybody hitting the poll on my great granny show? Once you join here, just drop a like, hit the poll. That's it. They're free. I don't want to hear about Umar Johnson. I don't want to hear about Diddy if you ain't doing free things. Everybody that went in that court for Diddy, they wanted some money. Diddy was being a cheap bastard. What are you being? Stop talking about somebody else. If you doing the same thing, free shit, do it. Because if you ain't doing shit for free, you damn sure ain't doing nothing that costs no money for nobody. Probably not even your damn kids. Let's keep it a stack.
Oh, no, you can't.
Keep it a stack.
Some bull.
Go me, I'm
right
kids.
there.
I'm not chasing none of you. Chasing my God and my Jesus, homie. Point blank, period. And an occasional op. That's it. So that's where the buck lies with me. Yeah. So salute. Okay, this indictment is impermissibly vague. It leaves the defense to guess as to the government's theory of guilt, and it leaves the government to free. Hold up, let me just bring myself up here. Pause, man. Let me see. I'm Gucci right here, though. I'm Gucci. I'm gonna start it like this. The government free to change that theory as its cooperators' stories morph over time to meet the demands of a conviction. Because the indictment omits the factual particulars necessary to give Mr. Banks notice of the charges against him and to permit him to prepare his defense at trial, it fails to satisfy Fed Art Crim P7C1 and 5th and 6th Amendments. Dismissal is warranted. As an alternative to dismissal, this motion seeks a bill of particulars under Fed Art Crim P7F along with 5th and 6th Amendments. I'm here if you don't know. Oh, right? Counts 1 and 2 allege that Mr. Banks conspired to and participated in the M for hire. In other words, the M as a consideration for the receipt of the consideration for the promise and agreement to pay anything of. Damn, man. Boy, Durkio, free my dog. Free my dog. So let me see what y'all doing in my chat, bro. Is y'all putting free Durks in there? Or y'all saying y'all want Durk to stay in here, bro? What's going on, bro? Do y'all want Durk to stay in that can, son? I want a yes or a no first so I know who I'm around, son. Because all of y'all could be from 63rd, homie. That's all I want to know. Is all of y'all from 6th Trade? Let me know, bro. Where y'all from, bro? Where's y'all people from, bro? Is it free Durk? Or do you think he did the hiring of the Merc? What happened, bro? Who's I'm around? 7's in the chat for Jesus and God. If you just came here, this is the point we at right now. All right. Do you believe it's free Durk, or do you believe he allegedly hired the Schmirk? What's going on, bro? Tell me what's going on, bro. Or are you from 63rd? So that's why you hating in here. It's all good, bro. Got love for both sides, bro. I'm from New York City, bro. Stop it. Anyway, listen. Hold up. Let's get back to the work. I think this will bring me here. All right, cool. All right, cool. I gotta go back here. Dun, 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 dun. What the government calls a bounty. See 18 USC 1958 AB 1 defining anything of pecuniary. What's this word, bro? I'm gonna leave that be. I know this word, bro. I know this word. But it's not pecuniary. I think it is. It's pecuniary value? Yeah, it is. It actually is. Pecuniary value. All right, cool. Defining anything of pecuniary value to include anything of value in the form of money, any negotiable instrument, a commercial interest, or anything else, the primary significance of which is economic advantage. The problem with counts 1 and 2 is that while they do allege in general terms that Mr. Banks offered a bounty for TB's unaliven, they do not provide the specifics necessary for him to adequately prepare his defense, to prevent surprise at trial, to protect against double jeopardy, or to prevent the government from shifting its legal theory or straying from its grand jury presentations, which makes sense. That makes a lot of sense because, I mean, you done said all these things you alleged in the beginning. You done got the grand jury to sign up everything's on this thing. You got it now, but then they don't really know what the real particulars of what you really using to tie Durk into this thing. So now they really can't prepare for real. You know what I'm saying? An adequate defense now they're trying to prepare. So I can see what they're saying there, but let's see what else they're saying. So I can understand that. Okay. You know, some of us ain't legal minds, but the way they broke that down, we can all understand that, right? The indictment only alleges that Mr. Banks used unspecific coded language, okay, that oxymoronically made clear that TB's killer would be rewarded with money or a lucrative music opportunities with OTF, but according to the government, what was the coded language he used, upon which the grand jury based its charging decision? When, where, and how was the coded language in the bounty allegedly conveyed? And what were the monetary rewards and music opportunities that were supposedly promised or delivered as consideration for the unalive? And that makes sense. How are you going to have all of this coded language, all of these different things, but you don't want to let us know what you have against him? You don't know what you want to have to use this, going to tie him into this thing. Like, how can we really prepare a solid defense to this thing if you're going to be springing things up on us, which we don't know what the hell to prepare for, bro? That's the point. Both sides supposed to convey with each other. Boom, 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 boom. Prosecution and defense to understand, listen, ain't no pop-outs, but even though everybody still keep they pop-outs, because you don't want everybody, it's like football, like a sport, bro. You don't want them to time you all the way. But just to get rid of all of these things, this is why they made it like that they have to both convert. All right, yeah, what was the considerations for the M? Without more, there is a real danger of a constructive amendment and a fatal variance at the trial in violation of the Constitution. A similar deficiency plagues the direction of language that affects every count in the indictment. While the indictment alleges that the co-conspirators carried out various acts at the direction of Mr. Banks, flying to Los Angeles, trafficking, stalking, and attempting to kill TB by weapon fire and procuring the firearms and equipment used to do so. It fails to give any specifics when, where, how, and to whom did Mr. Banks give these alleged directions. To ensure the basic fairness of this trial, the defense is entitled to know. Now, given the vagueness of the indictment's bounty and at the direction of allegations, if the indictment is permitted to stand, a bill of particulars is warranted. Mr. Banks' request of a bill of particulars that reflects the theory upon which the grand jury rested its charging decision, and that gives Mr. Banks fair notice of the allegations against him. Specifically, we request the following information. The language that Mr. Banks allegedly used to convey his offer of a pecuniary bounty in exchange for TB's unaliving, the nature of the item of pecuniary value, the monetary reward or music opportunity that Mr. Banks is alleged to have offered and or delivered in exchange for the unaliving, the date and time, audience, and circumstances of the alleged bounty offer, the language used, date, time, audience, and circumstances related to the at the direction of allegation in the indictment. This request is made under Federal Rule of Criminal Procedures 7F and 5th and 6th Amendments. 2. Factual background of the indictment. The indictment contains allegations that in order to induce TB's unaliving, Mr. Banks used coded language to offer pecuniary bounties in the form of a monetary reward or music opportunities with OTF. It also avers that co-conspirators took the following actions at the direction of Mr. Banks: flying to Los Angeles, trafficking, stalking, and attempting to unalive TB by weapon fire, and procuring the car, ski mask, and the magnetos to do so. The metal. The bounty language. The indictment's introductory allegations contain the following language with respect to the alleged bounty. After the unaliving of DB, defendant's bank made clear in coded language that he would pay a bounty or monetary reward and or make payment to anyone who took part in the unaliving of TB for his role in DB's unaliving. As to count 2, this is for King Von, right? Dave Von Bennett to DB. TB for his role in DB, Dave Von Bennett's unaliving, right? That's what's going on, right? That's King Von. As to count 1, which charges Mr. Banks with conspiring to use interstate facilities to commit unaliving for hire, the indictment alleges defendants conspired and agreed to use facilities of interstate and foreign commerce with the intent to unalive TB as consideration for a receipt of and consideration for a promise and agreement to pay anything of pecuniary value, namely money and lucrative music opportunities with OTF. Defendant Banks would place bounties on individuals that he and other OTF members wanted to unalive, including TB, as part of the bounty co-conspirators. As part of the bounty co-conspirators known and unknown, including defendant Banks and Wilson, would pay anyone who took part in the unaliving of TB or a reward individuals with lucrative music opportunities with OTF. Overt Act number 1. Following the unaliving of DB on or about November 6, 2020, defendant Banks used coded language and told the defendant Wilson, co-conspirator 2, 4, and 5, and others that he would pay a bounty, monetary or reward to anyone, or monetary reward to anyone who took part in the unaliving of TB. The language supporting count 2 is similar. That count charges Mr. Banks with substantive unaliving for hire and aiding and abetting the same, and alleges that defendants use facilities of interstate and foreign commerce with the intent to unalive TB as a consideration for the receipt of and a consideration for the promise and agreement to pay anything in pecuniary value, namely money and lucrative music opportunities with OTF. And at the direction of language, the indictment's introductory allegations state that Mr. Banks directed the actions of his co-conspirators as follows: after learning of TB's location at the direction of defendants Wilson, Jones, and Lindsay and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 traveled from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California for the purposes of unaliving TB as alleged in counts 1, 2, through 3. On August 19, 2022, at the directions of defendant Banks, defendant Grant Wilson, Jones, Lindsay, and Houston, and co-conspirator 2 used 2 vehicles, tracked, stalked, and attempt to unalive TB by weapons fire. With respect to count 1, conspiracy to commit unaliving for hire, the indictment alleges at the direction of defendant Bank, defendant Grant would procure cars, ski masks, and firearms, and would be used by co-conspirators to find, track, and unalive TB. The pleading standards in this indictment must meet. Okay, cool. Let's see where we at in this chat though, because I be here reading and I can't see too much. What's going on in the chat? Yeah, man, I'm skipping through some of this though, because we already know some of the factual shit though. Hold on, let me see what they using to bust it. A bill of particulars is appropriate. Okay, yeah, I want to see some of this. A federal rule of criminal procedure 7F governs the filing of a bill of particulars. The relevant subsection states. Hold up, let me just change this here too. Let's see. Okay, boom. Yeah. Let me do this for a second. All right, cool. All right. Okay, the court may direct the government to file a bill of particulars. The defendant may move for a bill of particular before or move within 14 days after arraignment or at a later time. If the court permits, the government may amend a bill particulars subject to such conditions of justice requires. Under Rule 7F, this court has a broad discretion to order the government to provide a bill of particulars. They said, see Wong Tai versus United States. See this other case versus United States. The 1966 amendment to the Rule 7F, which eliminated the good cause requirement for the bill of particulars, was designed to encourage a more liberal attitude by the courts for bills of particulars without taking away the discretion which courts must have in dealing with such motions in individual cases. Now, Federal Rule of Criminal Procedure 7F Advisory Committee note, they go into a couple of cases. In accordance with the spirit of the 1966 amendment, the defendant should be given the benefit of doubt in the gray areas, and they go into United States versus Davis. Going to a couple of more cases. A bill of particulars has 3 separate purposes. 1, to inform the defendant of the nature of the charge against him and with sufficient precision to enable him to prepare for trial. 2, to avoid or minimize the danger of surprise at the time of trial. And 3, to enable the defendant to plead his acquittal or conviction in bar of another prosecution for the same offense when the indictment itself is too vague and indefinite for such purpose. They go into a couple of citings of cases. A bill of particulars is intended to supplement the indictment by providing more detail of the facts upon which the charges are based. United States first, they go into another case and they cite it. The argument: the indictment, bounty, and at the direction of allegations form the heart of the case against Mr. Banks. That makes a lot of sense. Now, with the indictment, what the indictments fails to tell us are that the very things that the defense is entitled to know, the operative facts underlying the government's theories of Mr. Banks' guilt. There is no allegations here that Mr. Banks physically participated in the stalking and the unaliving at issue. The crux, the entirety, even of the government's case, then is that how he said the crux of the case is first that he somehow offered and or paid some sort of unspecified bounty in exchange for the unaliving, and the second that he directed in some unspecified way the stalking and the weapons possession, the unaliving, and perhaps also the unaliving bounty payment. Those are the only 2 links the bounty and Mr. Bank direction of alleged to connect him to the charges. Indeed, if the government cannot prove up these links beyond a reasonable doubt, its case against Mr. Banks fails. As to bounty offer, it is an element of the unaliving for hire charged in counts 1 and 2 that Mr. Banks gave or promised something of pecuniary value in exchange for seeking the unaliving. The intent to pay someone to commit unaliving is a critical element of a murder for hire. Rejecting the government's claim that pecuniary consideration element could be met where the defendant merely expected a benefit, according to a legislative history of 1958. The unaliving must be carried out or planned as consideration for the receipt of anything of pecuniary value, and this term is defined to mean money, a negotiable instrument, a commercial interest, or anything else, the primary significance of which is economic advantage. With the respect to every other count in the indictment, at the direction of language is the only thing connecting Mr. Banks to these crimes, as these two subject matters are at the heart of the government's prosecution of Mr. Banks. So too are they that at the heart. No, so too are they at the heart of this constitutionally guaranteed ability to mount a defense. Let me see. The indictments lack specificity as to the alleged bounty and the directions in furtherance of the unaliving. Let me see where you're at in the chat. Cool. Y'all drop likes. Everybody drop likes. Everybody hit the post. Salute to y'all. Despite the centrality of the bounty and at the direction of allegations, the indictment lacks the specifics of the government's theory on those points. By way of example, we have the issue of the coded language supposedly used to convey the bounty. The indictment alleges that Mr. Banks made clear in coded language that he would pay a bounty or monetary reward and or make payment to anyone who took part in the unaliving of TB for his role in King Von's unaliving. Indictment P2. Emphasis added, following the unaliving of King Von on or about November 6, 2020, defendant Bank used coded language, told defendant Wilson, co-conspirator 2, 4, and 5, and others that he would pay a bounty or monetary reward to anyone who took part in the unaliving of TB. Let's consider some potential defenses to this allegation. One, that Mr. Banks never used the alleged coded language, i.e., he was not present when the words are alleged to be uttered. He said he wasn't present when the words that are alleged to have been uttered, or there is no record of a corresponding phone call or text message. And two, and that's based on something that Hernandez Govan that beat the Young Dolph thing. Remember, after all of these things happened, straight dropping them wasn't calling him. They actually called Durk. There wasn't like no phone calls really tying him in to the after. Because if they was calling Hernandez Govan after the unaliving and all of that stuff, because he did meet with them like prior to like before it, but they couldn't tie like these things together. So little things like that. So this right here is something similar to what got Govan sprung, bro. This basically stuff like this is what helped spring Govan. Straight, son. I'm telling you, son. They couldn't tie that shit by phone, text messages, and all that, son. Like, could they really? Anyway, that number two, that the language at issue does not mean that the government says it does not mean what the government says it means. How can Mr. Banks be prepared to present either or both of these defenses if he does not know the specific circumstances of this alleged coded language bounty or something? Now, what code words did he supposedly use that are alleged to mean what the government means they say they mean? What was the bounty offered? Conveyed in person? Over the phone? Was it? Where and when? Mr. Banks is entitled to know what coded language the government presented to the grand jury and will thus rely upon at trial and the circumstances surrounding this alleged communication. The same holds true for the nature of the pecuniary considerations that Mr. Banks supposedly offered or gave. The indictment avers that the unaliving was undertaken as a consideration for the receipt of and the consideration of a promise and agreement to pay anything of pecuniary value, namely money and lucrative music opportunities with OTF. Emphasis added again. But what sum of money is alleged to have been offered as a bounty? In cash, via wire, or is it written check? See what I mean? These are little loopholes. They're looking good for Durk in some ways. I don't know if they're going to stick. What were the lucrative music opportunities that served as the alleged consideration for TB's unaliving? Was it a feature on one of Mr. Banks' songs that the government claims was offered and or furnished as a consideration for the unaliving? If so, which song then? The defense is entitled to know. And finally, the indictment alleges that in general terms, that various acts in furtherance of the charged crimes were undertaken at the direction of Mr. Banks. See the indictment. 2 to 3 co-conspirators traveled to Los Angeles after learning of TB's location. Co-conspirators used 2 vehicles. They meant to say TWO. 2 vehicles to track, stalk, and attempt to unalive TB with weapons fire. And at 5, defendants grant procured cars, ski masks, and magnetos used to track and unalive TB. At trial, Mr. Bank intends to dispute that any such actions were undertaken at his direction. He cannot adequately do so, however, without knowing the government's theory on this point. How, when, and whom is he alleged to have conveyed these directions? Without a bill of particulars, the specifics of this accusation will come as a surprise to the defense at trial, which makes sense. The indictment should be dismissed as vague. The indictment here on both the bounty and the directions of points present all the dangers of the vague indictment. It does not permit Mr. Bank to prepare the adequate defense because the defense must guess what aspects of Mr. Banks' alleged interactions with purported co-conspirators during the time period in between on or before November 6, 2020, unaliving of King Von. And on August 22, 22, the unaliving that's at issue here, the government will claim at trial constituted 1, an offer of bounty, and 2, directions in furtherance of an unaliving. The indictment creates a substantial risk that Mr. Banks will be tried based on conduct other than the conduct the grand jury found when it returned in the indictment. It permits the government to shift its theories to meet the vagaries of trial, including the stories of cooperating witnesses whose very lives depend upon pleasing the prosecution, and the indictment affords Mr. Banks scant protection against being tried twice for the same offense. Now, the courts have repeatedly dismissed indictments far more detailed than this one. In Russell, for example, the Supreme Court dismissed indictments purporting to charge offenses under 2 U.S.C. 192 for failing to answer questions before a congressional committee. The court found the indictment inadequate, and even though they stated the date, place, and circumstances of the questioning and identified the questions each defendant had refused to answer, because they failed to identify the subject under the inquiry when the defendant was questioned, and they show you in the 369 U.S., and they show you the indictment here has the reverse of the defect in the Russell. It identifies the general term, what Mr. Banks is alleged to have done, but it gives no specifics about Mr. Banks' alleged conduct that amounted to number 1, a bounty offer, and 2, directions in the furtherance of the unaliving. Okay, let's see where we got in the chat. Will Durk get sprung though, bro? Will Durk get sprung? Let me see. The government has a lot of evidence against Durk and his co-defendants. Is it really against his co-defendants, or is it really against Durk? Is it really that Durk is just the top guy? You know what I'm saying? Durk basically being the top guy. And you already know, you know what I'm saying? They watch music videos, they see the talk, they hear the conversations. They like regular people, so they're just putting it together. You know what I'm saying? So they know that Durk is up there. So it's like basically they know they got love for King Von. People can see with eyes, bro. We all, what you think, just hip hop fans? Nah, bro, we all can see what's going on. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? You already know they had a love for Von and all that. You know what I'm saying? So just based on what we all just think, you know what I'm saying? They're going to put him in the can based on that alone, bro. Based on that, you know the truth, son. You know the truth, son. You know the truth. How you going to snatch YSL, no snatch Thug? How you going to snatch OTF and no snatch Durk? Like, what sense you doing? You got to snatch the head, bro. You know how they come on these big cases, these RICO type things. You know that. You got to snatch the head because you got to get to the money. When you get hit with the RICO, they want the money. They're coming for the RICO. You know what I'm saying? They want the money, bro. Any monies that we use, if you use your business to do that, they can take it. They forfeit it. They seize it. Straight. Like Diddy. If Diddy used his homes, let's say Diddy got convicted of those 2 that he got acquitted of. And if he used his homes and his cars and his Bentley and his jet to fly the escort there, and he used his Bentley to pick them up from the escort, and he used his homes to facilitate these things, they could come and swipe his home, swipe his jet, and swipe his cars, bro. Anything that's used to further the crime, bro. Anything you using, bro. They could come and get that, bro. Diddy was acquitted of those things. That's lucky for him. You hear what I'm saying to you, bro? Sean Combs Enterprises is on the receipts. See what I'm saying, son? They was there, bro. They come take that, bro. You talking about they come took Bad Boy, bro. They came took Bad Boy. That's mine's now. They came took all that. Trust funds, all that. Give me all that. So don't get it twisted. It costs money for these people to go spend this money to come against you and do this thing, bro. And they like going at people with some paper. They got some money. You know what I'm saying? Because they could come forfeit your stuff and come take your stuff. You got people that snitching in cases, snitches, CIs, confidential informants, and then you got cooperating witnesses, people that aren't snitches like that, but not getting paid snitches. They're still snitches, but they're not paid snitches. But these people must get paid. Look at Tammy Cowens and Big Meech, the one that was with Big Meech. That's with 50 doing the BMF series with BMF. She was at first working as a cooperating individual to lock up her ex-boyfriend, Terry, locked him up, got him back for all the weed and all that stuff. Boom. She was so beneficial to the case, right, that the federal agent at the time gave her, he said, you know what, I'm going to put you in for a percentage of whatever the forfeitures is, whatever we take from this guy. Based on what they took from the guy, she was able to get $55,000. She got $55,000 cash based on what they took from the guy, based on for her information. And she wasn't even a cooperating informant. She wasn't a CS. She wasn't a CI. She wasn't a paid informant. She was just a cooperating individual. So I'm saying she wasn't a confidential informant. It's a difference. You feel me? They both trying to keep them both confidential, but one is doing it for free, and one's doing it for the money, and you working with the government. You see what I'm saying? But it goes to show you that people get paid from these things too, man. See what I'm saying? Shit is real, bro. So it's a lot, bro. This whole case is a lot. It's a lot. Shout out to my bro Chris and VP Harris, man. Y'all go check some of the debates and some of the things that he's doing over there, dropping some knowledge over there. You know, we gotta keep some knowledge in our minds. So if you want the knowledge, make sure you drop and check on my bro Chris. Yeah, Trump will pardon them. I don't know. I doubt that, bro. Trump ain't pardoning nobody on Paru, bro. Trump ain't pardoning nobody, bro. Why you saying that, bro? Listen, Trump could. He gonna get a bag to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Trump gonna get a bag to do it, though. If Trump could pardon Kodak Black, bro, and Kodak ass went back there after that, I'm tired of Kodak Black. He got to pardon Trump. I mean, got to pardon Diddy. Come on, bro. He pardoned Kodak Black, bro. And Kodak Black sipped some lean soon as he touched grounds. Soon as he touched the grounds, bro. Soon as he hit Miami Beach. He was leaned up. See what I mean? So what the hell, bro? So I think based on that, Trump can give him a pardon. He can. But Trump also knows that that man tried to play Trump, bro. Did he think he's slick? Nah, don't remember he bugging? He running. Vote or die, y'all. Take that. Yeah, man. You remember the vote or die thing? He was coming for him when it was Barack Obama time. Remember when he was on this fake black thing? Because Barack Obama's a fake black man. Fuck out of here. I don't care what you said, son. Y'all jacking Barack. I don't care, dog. What good was he? What he did? Who what? Just because you look black, that don't mean you is. What you talking about, bro? A guy that's talking sounds like he's talking proper. You're not even going to call him black, but he's black. So I don't care what you're talking about, bro. I don't care, son. Straight, son. Get out of here with that shit, son. Straight, son. That nigga Trump he ain't do nothing, bro. Barack was a damn patsy, bro. Nigga came to fluff us and to keep us subsided and keep us like this, bro. We will overcome. Oh, yes, we can. You sound like some old fucking Aunt Jemima shit, man. Bye, bro. Stop. Where he at now? That whole shit was for Barack-O-Care, whatever the fuck it was called. Remember? Barack plan, whatever the Barack-O-Care, whatever the fuck. Obamacare, that's what it's called. Barack-O-Care. Yeah, bro. Telling you, son. Trust me, bro. Trust me, son. Don't get the bro. Trust me, son. You better all believing in Trump than believing in Barack, son. I don't care what color you are. Straight, son. I don't care who you do believe in, but don't get caught up in the color barriers, bro. Don't get caught up in the color barriers, bro. You might as well believe in Biden than Barack, bro. Straight. Might as well believe in Biden. If you believe in Barack, you might as well believe in Biden, bro. Just keep it straight. Just keep it a fact, bro. Yo, man. Barack, yo, Biden? I was like, how is this man running the country, bro? I'm not going to make this a political thing. Oh, no. Trump don't get Trump out his bag, bro. Trump buy his paper, though. Don't get it twisted. Trump buy his money. Bro, listen to me, man. If you're a president, bro, you ain't got no real. You already know, son. You got you like this, bro. You already know what's going on, son. Stop. You already know, son. But Trump is the first person to get given the most freedom to just say and just do what he's doing. That's it, bro. Everybody's usually politically correct. That's it, son. They tried this. This is the experimental thing. Let's go against politically correct. Politics is about being correct. See what I'm saying? This is the first time. This is an experiment live before our eyes. Just be what you want to be, bro. Say what you want to say. You know what I'm saying? That's Trump. Trump in a nutshell. He done did everything he did, and he's still back in it. So it is what it is, bro. But you're not going to be acting like Barack Obama is better than a Trump or better than something. You're not going to be making those cases, bro. Stop. What's the difference, bro? What's the difference between Barack and Trump? What's the difference? What? One's white, one's black. Thank you. That's about it. One got a wing, one got a Caesar. Exactly, bro. That's it. It's all, bro. Not a big difference. They both about their bag. They both about their bag, bro. Don't get it twisted, son. They both about their bag, and they both is hustlers. Okay? Just understand it, bro. Just wake up. Wake up, Hobie. Don't be stupid. Y'all subscribe to the channel. Y'all hit all the notification bells onto all. Unsubscribe, subscribe back. Make sure you get my notifications, too. People had to do that because YouTube been hating. We've been growing. I gained like 7,000 subscribers like last weeks ago. These niggas limited my shit to a couple of people in here. So I've been doing better before I gained these subscribers, bro. That channel's been doing way better before I gained people. I was chilling. Doing 20, 30, 40, 50s, all of this, bro. Before I even had 5,000. Before I even had 5,000 subs, bro. I swear to God, you go on my channel, you see it. I don't delete nothing. So everything there for you. So you know YouTube's playing with us. So make sure y'all dropping likes. Make sure y'all hitting the poll. Make sure you're letting us know what you're thinking about the situation. Do you think Durk goes free? Do you think he's just in too deep? Pause is just, you know what I mean? His man's in him then got him jammed too, you know what I mean? Now I hear some talks about Diddy. Talk about Diddy lawyer trying to throw it on Durk. I don't know. I got to figure that out. I hope that's not. Yeah. You know that's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact, Chris. But Diddy, I don't know, bro. It's all good. I got the weapons for them for the channel. I got the weapon for the channel. I'm about to bring everybody with 100,000 subscribers that I have on my friends. Boom. Nick at Night first. I'm about to do a whole series with Nick at Night. So let's see if they hating on that one. Stop it. Thank you. Me and Neek, first of all, that's my girl. Yeah. So me and her gonna do a whole little series, a whole little show, bong, and then my other people, trying out my other people. That's all big content creators. We're gonna bring all of them to give me all impact on the channel because I never brought nobody really on it because that's what God told me to do. He said, listen, I don't want nobody to take credit for when I make this channel grow. He's took it to 25,000. I think a quarter is enough. You know what I'm saying? 25 cents is enough. Now we can take it to $1, God. Let's bring some people in it because I like talking with people. I just don't like talking like this. I really like talking with people. So, yeah, that's what I'm on, son. That's what I'm on. That's what I'm on. And this is what we on, man. What's up with Diddy, man? What's up with Diddy, man? You know what? This is what I'm gonna do, bro. This is what I'm gonna do, man. I got like 15 minutes, man. 15 minutes. I'm gonna drop this link in this chat. 15 minutes. If you got something to say about this Diddy shit, let me know. I was about to go outside, nigga. I'm going for my, you know what I mean? For my early morning lunch, homie. You know what I'm saying? Don't do this with this last shooter. Do it. Leave it there for a couple minutes. Yeah, man. Is Diddy getting an appeal? Is Diddy getting an appeal? And or did the judge sentence him in a way that can make him seem like, yo, I was actually doing him a solid too. I actually was lenient on him. I actually gave him under the 5 years. You know what I'm saying? That was the probation's floor of what they wanted. And you can't argue that. You can't argue that, son. You can't. You can't. I think that not only the prosecution, whether it's Cassie's family, potential victims, whoever, Deontay Nash, everybody wanted Diddy to get more than that, bro. Everybody wanted him to get more than that, bro. So I know the judge felt like he was probably doing them a disservice in a way because he couldn't give them all of that because they was asking for too much. You see what I'm saying? And as a judge, it's a hard thing, bro, because you got to suffice all sides. Thank you, Miss Monica. I appreciate you, Queen. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to suffice all sides. You know what I mean? And he's not innocent, bro. He's guilty of 2 crimes, bro. It's not like the nigga's innocent, bro. You're guilty of 2 crimes, bro. No matter what niggas got for the shit before, you're guilty of 2 crimes, bro. So you can haggle and try to beef and try to finagle if you want to, but, you know, yeah, man, I don't know. Did the judge become a 13th jury member, though? Because that's what Mark Agnifilo and Diddy's team suggests, that Judge Arun Submarinian, he became a 13th jury member. Okay, and basically came with his own feelings on this thing after the jury then acquitted him of all these things. And then you came to bring it back and used it as basically the premise to give him the 4 years. Will it stand? Will it stand? I don't know. I appreciate that. You already know. Salute to everybody that hit me on the Cash App. Salute to Ava. I appreciate the Cash App. Salute to everybody that's hit me on PayPal and Cash App. I'm gonna go through them and kind of salute y'all and support y'all. You know what I mean? I appreciate all the support. Cash App, OOTAONGO. PayPal is OOTAONGO. You already know, whether you super chatting, whatever the case may be. I appreciate all the love. Most definitely appreciate all the love. What's up? What's the football number start? Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. People gonna start crap. They're gonna crumble. They're gonna start telling. That's a guarantee. They're gonna start telling. Nobody cares about nothing, bro. People telling, bro. People telling, bro. You already know it's feds, it's big, this unaliving, this is life, this is everything, bro. This is your whole life, bro. It's over. So, you know, people most definitely getting to telling in them situations. So we ain't even got to question that, right? It is what it is. Chedo, this is what it is, man. Y'all get in the comments, y'all let me know. Y'all make sure y'all subscribing to the channel and making sure y'all hitting all notifications, like I said. And yeah, man, I'll be back in another one in a minute, man, because I got a couple of videos that I want to do. Make sure y'all checking my upload section, even if y'all just going through there, just dropping likes on video, watching videos for a couple of minutes, putting the views on them. Just put the views on the videos and all that stuff. That's it. This is how we combat YouTube hating. They trying to ban for what? I don't be over there hating, doing nothing. I don't be talking politics, bro. I don't talk none of that, bro. I'm a real mind, bro. I get in the spirituals and all that, bro. I mean, I could debate with Chris. No, I'm gonna go that far. He good at what he do. But I know the knowledge. But Chris is good at what he does with the debates. But that's what I'm trying to show you, though. See what I'm saying? And I don't even be going there, bro. And they still trying to keep the man down. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'll be trying to say that, homie. That's how I'll be trying to say that. But it is all good. You know what I'm saying? It is all good. Salute to Maria. Are you going to be covering the multi? Yeah, I want to. I wanted to go there. But I want to go to cover these trials, bro. I don't care, nigga. You got beef with me? I'm in your city? Fuck it, nigga. I'm still coming, nigga. I'm crazy deranged, nigga. I'm coming, fool. Pause. I'm coming. Yeah. I really want to go, bro. I would love to go and cover that case, man. I swear to God, John. If God permits the time, inshallah, alhamdulillah, whatever you want to say. If God, you know what I'm saying, grant us this opportunity and all of that, you know what I mean? If I got some support from the people too as well, because, you know what I mean, I do everything for myself. I don't be asking nobody for nothing. So I ain't like your YouTube that y'all be running around Gawk 9,000 and giving you all your damn life savings to. I'm not those people. So I'd have to see some love being shown back towards me. Straight. I give a lot of love and I show a lot of love, but I don't really feel it back. But it is what it is. I don't mind. I think y'all checking everybody else but me, but it's okay. That's what happened in the Bible. Yeah, that's what happened. That's what God told me. So I'm no different. I'm no different. I'm not saying I'm a saint. I'm none of that. I'm just saying I know I'm on the right path, and anything that's against it or not helping it to grow or to show, then I get it. Do you know what I mean? I'm saying God every day in all my videos, so I know your favorite content creator ain't saying that shit. They don't give a fuck about no God. That's what they think. So you do what you want with that, because you're following probably a devil worshiper and you liking this shit all day. But you said you believe in God all day. How corny are you? And people beefing you and they chat like, oh shit, girl, what y'all said, nigga, what y'all said? And them niggas ain't never helped nobody, nothing but devil shit came out their mouth every goddamn day. And they never said a thank you to God or Jesus. But I know you love that shit. Because you the same thing, homie. Don't think you better. Tell me about Umar. Don't tell me about Diddy unless you coming around here helping, sharing, liking, and doing shit that's for free. Because all that things I just told you was for free. And if your ass ain't do it, this is who you are, a clout king or a clout queen. And you could get that hat at Don't Hide the Plug on Instagram. Shoot them a DM. OOTA is the passcode and the promo code. And yeah, send me the video, send me the pitch. I upload it on my channel. You already know the vibes, man. OOTA don't care to lie to you. Sorry. I really don't. I'm not chasing nothing. I get chicks. I do all of that. I look good in real life. I don't care. I know who I am. I feel good about. I know who I am. I believe in God. I know what it is. I know what it is. So while you figuring it out, make sure you're doing it.
All my niggas from the OOTA. All my niggas turn shooters. All my